Bonjour à tous, welcome back to my channel where we make learning French fun and easy. If you're new here, I'm Sumo, your guide on this exciting journey to mastering the French language. Today, we're diving into a very important topic, les accents en français, French accents. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! In today's fantastic lesson, we will explore the different types of accents, how they change pronunciation, and their importance in understanding and speaking French correctly. And make sure you stick around to the end because I've got an amazing quiz for you. I have also created a free ebook on today's lesson where you can go back and review everything we have learned today. In this free ebook, there are more examples, more exercises to ensure that you master the French accents. All you need to do is input your name and email address in the link in the description box below, and today's lesson will be sent directly to your inbox. Accents in French are crucial as they can change the meaning of words and affect pronunciation. There are 5 main types of accents used in the French language. Number 1, l'accent aigu. Number 2, l'accent grave. Number 3, l'accent circonflexe. Number 4, le tréma. And number 5, la cédille. Each of these accents serve a specific purpose. Let's explore them with examples and pronunciation tips. Number 1, we have l'accent aigu. As you can see, it's only found on this letter E. You're not going to find it on any other French letter. With this E, you get the pronunciation like hey, say, tay, pay. Do you hear? I'm sure you're thinking, okay, Sumo, but pay, P-A-Y, S-A-Y, they're all A. I'm aware, but the pronunciation that we have for l'accent aigu is A, okay? So you can practice saying hey, say, pay, tay. This would give you the perfect pronunciation for l'accent aigu. So for example, we have école, éléphant, été. So did you hear the pronunciations? I didn't say été or elephant as I would say in English, or école. I said école, éléphant, été. Okay, so you have to remember été, hey, you have that pronunciation. Now let's look at sample sentences using this accent, just so that when you see them in a text or you hear them, you are quite aware that the person is using l'accent aigu. L'été, nous allons à la plage tous les jours. L'école commence à 8 heures du matin. L'éléphant est un animal très intelligent. Okay, so there we have it for l'accent aigu. Remember what I said? It has the same or the similar pronunciation to A. Just always remember when you hear hey, say, pay, tay, that is what? L'accent aigu. Let us move on to the next accent. The next accent is l'accent grave. This accent is only found on the vowels E, A, U. In English, E, A, and U. Those are the only vowels or the only letters that you're going to find l'accent grave. For this accent, it changes the pronunciation of the E to E. So for instance, we can have bed, red, ted, said. Do you see that they all have the same pronunciation? I'll take that again. Bed, said, ted, red. Do you see that they are different from the first one? So the first one I said what? It sounds like A, but this one is E. Bed, ted, red, said. Simple and easy. So let's take a look at E first, some examples with E. We have père, prêt, succès. For A, we have A or la. And for U, we have ou. Ou means what? Where. And ou means or. So you see that if we didn't have that accent on top and perhaps you need to say où vas-tu, imagine how you wouldn't be able to say that. Imagine you just typed ou vas-tu. The person would be like, what does that mean? But when you put ou and you have that accent, then the person immediately understands, oh, the person is asking me, where are you going? So for A and U, as you have already seen, the accent does not change the pronunciation, but it just helps you to differentiate words. So like I just gave you the example, we have ou or u, which is where versus or. And for the A, we can equally have A, which means to, it's a preposition, or A in the conjugated form of avoir, okay? For example, I could say, où est le livre que j'ai laissé là? Another example, il est très intelligent et toujours prêt à aider. Le succès de son projet a été immense. Did you see what I did in this sentence? I used 2 different accents. Can you pinpoint them? Good. If you said l'accent grave and l'accent aigu, you're correct. The third accent, l'accent circumflex. And this accent is only found on the vowels A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. This accent often indicates that a historical S has been dropped. Sometimes it affects pronunciation slightly, often lengthening the vowel sound. Let's take a look at some examples. For A, we have bal and château. For E, we have fête and forêt. So do you see the forêt? We have what in English? Forest. So do you see that probably back then in French, it was actually pronounced forest or something? I'm not sure. But do you see why I'm saying that historical S has been dropped? For I, we have il and maître. You might be thinking, okay, someone, but you didn't say maître or something like that. No, some of them you just don't pronounce them, but it has that accent on top of the I. It's very important. Please do not forget. For E, we have hôpital and hôtel. So same thing, I'm imagining it was probably called hospital. That even sounds weird in French, maybe in those days. Or how we have, instead of hotel, we have hostel. So maybe that's also the historical S that just went away. And for U, we have sur and mur. So like I said, the pronunciation can vary, but the sound is usually lengthened or stressed slightly. Let's take a look at some examples. Le château est entouré de magnifiques jardins. Another one. Pour la fête, ils ont préparé une grande cérémonie. Il s'est rendu à l'hôpital pour un examen médical. The next accent is le tréma, and they're only found on the vowels E, I, and U. It indicates that the vowels should be pronounced separately from the one before it. So for example, for E tréma, we have Noël and Israël. Do you see that the vowel is pronounced separately from the one before it? Good. For I, we have naïve and maïs. For U, we have aigu and ambigu. And yes, I know. You're going to say, Sumo, why is the accent tréma on the I? I would explain to you. For this particular accent, it works differently. It specifies that U right here, this word right here, is meant to be pronounced as U. Okay, so you do not pronounce it U-E, it's just pronounced as U. Without the accent, both letters would be silent. The 1990 French spelling reform recommended that le tréma be placed on U. So now, let's take a look at sample sentences. Ils vont célébrer Noël avec toute la famille. We can also have, elle est très naïve pour son âge. Elle a pris une décision ambiguë qui a surpris tout le monde. And the next accent, we have la cédille. You can see this letter, right? What word can you immediately think of? Let me pause for a second. Once you see the C with this thing underneath it, what word comes to mind? Good. If you said français, you're correct. So you see you're learning French. And as you can see, la cédille is only ever found on the letter C, beneath it, okay? Now, it changes the C sound because normally it would be pronounced K. It changes it from K to S before A, O, or U. So you might be thinking, okay, because I know you might ask you, Sumo, so do you immediately put that beneath everything? No. So for instance, I've seen a student of mine or some students who write merci and they put the la cédille. And I'm like, no. That's before an I. It's automatically just going to be pronounced merci. Okay? So you do not need to put it beneath every single C. You only need to put la cédille if the C is before A, O, or U. So for example, we have garçon. As you can see, it's before an O. We have façade. It's before an A. And for you, we have reçu. A pronunciation tip, like I said, you could pronounce this as S in C. Okay? Si, so, sin. Do you hear how the S is pronounced? I'm trying to look for it because, yeah, I think that's just the best I can say. If you just imagine si, so, sin. You hear? That's how it's pronounced. So for sample sentences, I could say, le garçon joue au football tous les dimanches. Or another sentence, ça fait longtemps que je ne l'ai pas vu. Or I can also say, la façade de ce bâtiment est très ancienne. And so, there we have it. That is all you need to know about the French accents. Understanding and correctly using French accents is essential for proper pronunciation and comprehension. You need to practice regularly and pay close attention to the accents in written and spoken French in order to master them. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a quiz, but to make it much more interesting, I'm going to give you two types. The first quiz, I'm going to mention a word and you're going to tell me what accent you think I mentioned, okay? And the second quiz, I'm going to read a short text to you, and what I need you to do is get your pen and paper and write out the accent you picked up from the quiz, okay? Do not forget to let me know in the comment section if you got everything or just how many you got. Number one, which accent is in this word? Père. 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 If you said l'accent grave, correct. Number two, café. Café. Le café. What accent is used in this word? Correct. If you said l'accent aigu, you're correct. And number three, what accents are in this word? Déçu. 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 Correct. If you said l'accent aigu and la cédille, you're very correct. Now, let's move on to the second quiz. Get your pen and paper ready. Do not forget. What I need you to do, like I said, is I'm going to read a very short text. All you need to do is pick out the words with accents on them, okay? On était à l'école où le garçon naïf rêvait d'une île magique. Il trouva une façade mystérieuse. Très curieux, il découvre un ancien château avec une fête incroyable. Là, un éléphant géant dansait avec une précision étrange et tout le monde était émerveillé par cette scène fantastique. How well did you do? Were you able to pick out all the words with the different accents? I'm sure you were. I'm going to show you the words right now, just in case you weren't able to pick out every single one of them. And so those are the words with the English translation to help you further, okay? If you didn't get everything, do not worry. It's a great effort. At least you're able to pick out even one or two or four of them. With continuous practice, I promise you will get better. Like I said, you can practice more with my free ebook. All you need to do is put your name and email address in the link in the description box below, and today's lesson, alongside with more exercises and samples, will be sent directly to your inbox. If you enjoyed today's fantastic lesson and you learned a lot, please give it a thumbs up so that I know you like videos like this and I can create more. Share with whoever you know is struggling with the French accents, and subscribe for more French learning tips. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for more videos. I would love to read from you. Thank you very much for watching today's lesson. Until I see you in the next lesson, bonne journée!